Hey, what's up, guys? No nonsense know-how here again, today with another fast-paced product review, this time on a jumpstart pack. Then it's going to be on this AMPROAD iRock 40 4000 amp jump starter that you can get on Amazon for, I believe they're $140 right now. So we'll start by opening up the box and see what's inside. Now let me just note, I have a very similar unit made by Gulu, also 4000 amp, but this one's been very glitchy and constantly throws codes. So I'm hoping the AMPROAD's going to be more reliable. I'll jump over to the shade here and let's go over a few specs. So this is 4000 amp peak, but 2000 amp starting. That Gulu one I showed you is only rated at 800 amp starting, so this should be considerably better. This does double as a power bank. It's got a 26,800 milliamp battery in this, and the safety jumper cable that comes with has reverse polarity protection, short circuit protection, reverse charging protection, low voltage protection, and overheat protection. So it's also got an LED light built in that I'm going to show you. And let's slide her on out. Comes with a nice carrying case and a lanyard on there for hooking it up so you don't lose it. Nice quality zipper, and here's what we're looking like inside. All right, we come with instructions. These are the jumper cables with the built-in safety. Oh, nice quality alligator clamps, and they actually do have a crossover wire that go from side to side. A lot of time I don't see that, and that's a really nice feature. It makes a huge difference when you're jumping vehicles to have both of these contact. And then it comes with a 12-volt cigarette lighter that we're going to be able to plug in so you can run 12-volt accessories, and your charge cable, USB-C. I don't see, it doesn't come with a charge block. You fold this over. And, well, I like that they have it wrapped in plastic. That way, if the box gets wet in a storm when you're waiting, if you're not home when the mailman comes, it won't get all soaking wet. And here's a look at the unit. It's got a nice feel to it. It's actually considerably lighter than the Gulu, which is, that's a good feature, in my opinion. So here's your DC output right here. If you wanted to run something off this, you just plug that in and then power it up. And then this is your USB-C input for charging. You have one USB for output charging, and then a USB quick charge 3.0 for fast charging. Here's the receptacle for plugging this in. This is keyed, so you can't put that in backwards. Very nice. And look, it actually powered up on its own. I didn't have to do anything. So to check its battery life, I pressed that once. It came at 72%. I guess let me go get this charged up, and then we can check it. It shows capacity on the back too at 99.16 watt hours. Input for charging is 5 volts at 3 amps. And then if you want to take a look at those specs, feel free to press pause. Well, let me get this charged up, and we will go do some testing. Plug the USB-C in, and there we go, 72. So it looks like the second digit just flashes, letting you know that it's charging. I'll let you know how long that takes to get to 100. 1 hour later, and we're up to 83%, so it does take a little time to charge this. Well, we're now charged up to 100%, and I've got the perfect vehicle to try it on. I'm actually working on a video on this whole Jeep here, so the battery's really low, and instead of putting the charger on, let's try the jump pack. We'll go ahead and start by hooking the negative to the positive and the positive to the negative. That way, let's see if the safety device works. I'll give it a tap test first. Nothing. It just says RSC. All right, so that works good. Now let's hook it up. In fact, let's arc it together and see what happens. And nothing either. It just starts beeping at us, so that safety works good. And now we can clamp it on proper polarity. And you guys probably can't see it because of the frame rate, but it's indicating a battery voltage of 12.7. Or it should be flashing for you guys. It's not in real life though. Let's see if well, I guess it's on then, so let's give it a crank. Well, let me show you what it cranks like before this. And here it's, yeah, it's pretty shot. And with the jump pack hooked up, oh, yeah, that sounds nice. So let me get the ignition hooked up on here. That's cranking real good. Now I did leave this hooked up to the battery, and in the past, doing that with some other jump packs, it can kill them really quickly. Like in particular, the Gulu's done that. So let's unhook this and see, after those several cranks, what our battery percentage is at. it's still indicating 100%. That's really good. I'm gonna leave this hooked up and keep trying to start this car. I will note, you're not supposed to hook these jump packs up and crank continuously. I didn't see a specific crank time in here, but a lot of them will say, you know, crank no more than 15 seconds or so. This one says right here, please don't start the car continuously. Between starting twice, you should allow an interval of at least 30 seconds to a minute. After using this again, it was cranking hard and then went real slow, and now it's blinking on this screen up here and it's down to 97% it's showing, but I think I might have to let it sit for a minute. It does have some heat to it too. It's not like super hot, but definitely feel a little toasty. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, it's working again. There it is, 13 volts. So you're just not supposed to keep running this thing hard. You should run it, crank it about that long, and if it doesn't start, let it sit for a minute, because otherwise it's going to overload this and do what it just did. You know, it starts flashing on you, and you got to let it cool down. So here's to show you how long it will go. Let's see. Ah, it's pulling. Yeah, that's going hard, and you can see, I mean, without the jump pack, the battery's shot. So this thing packs a punch. I'm very impressed with it. And even after all that cranking, it's only down to 90%. So I'm gonna just keep going to town on this same vehicle with it. I guess see if we can break this thing or if it keeps going hard. And this is really pulling some juice because these cables are warm to the touch. So it hasn't glitched out on me once, and compared to the Gulu, it's just working much better so far. There she is. This is down to 82%. I'm going to disconnect it for now, let it sit. So I'm going to get working back on this, and then I'll chime back with you on the jump box. If you want to see this video, I'll try and plug a link to it down in the description when it's posted. Or I'll plug the part 1 in there. Well, actually, we have a good opportunity to try this again because this battery's toasted now since when it was running. The positive cable actually leaned over on the exhaust header, which happened in the part 1 video too. I probably should have secured that, but this time it made enough contact to melt the entire wire. I don't know how well you can see that down there, but that was a lot of current draw, and it toasted this battery. Listen to that. This little jump pack is great. Now this next test we're going to do is not recommended. We're at 81% on here, and we're going to use this to jump this engine without the battery attached at all. It's not recommended because it's really not designed to do that. There we are, all hooked up. You see the negative terminal's empty though, so it's all on here. Oh, and it didn't go. So that's just an overload on this thing. And just for comparison's sake, here's the Gulu trying to do the same thing. So this one, it does have enough juice to crank that over. And to be honest, it's probably just this smart connector that's preventing it from doing that, protecting the battery. And see, now this one's beeping at me anyway, because you're really not supposed to do that. Now I want to show you something I hate about this Gulu, and we'll see if the AMPROAD does the same thing. If I put this on and hook it up, what happens is it keeps pumping juice into this battery, and then it's going to stop going after about, let's see, maybe it's 20 seconds. Let's find out. And there it was. Only 15 seconds later, it stopped boosting this battery. So when I use this for jumping something or starting a vehicle, it just keeps turning itself off all the time. Let's find out what the AMPROAD does. After hooking up, we're at 13.9 volts, so we're definitely boosting the battery, 81%. Let's see how long it stays like that. Well, I ended up giving it 10 minutes, and it's still at 81%, 13.7 volts. So it seems this one's just a lot better at metering itself and keeping steady voltage on there, but not running the battery down on it. Like that Gulu drops so fast. Of course, it had the oomph to crank over the engine, and this one is protected from doing that. I don't know if I showed you guys the light function yet. You long press this, and then there's your light. Works very well, nice and bright. Press it again, and you get a flashing light. SOS light, I guess. Press it again, and it's doing a different flashing pattern now, just a steady flash. And if you long press it, turns it off. I'm going to try out the charging function now. My phone's at 89%, and I'm going to plug it in now. All right, so it doesn't automatically start charging the phone. You got to press this, and now it's charging. Actually, fast charging too. About 10 minutes later, my phone's fully charged, and this has dropped down to 78%, so that quick charge port works very well. All right, so that should wrap this review video up. Definitely a good little unit here, and I'll drop a link to it down below. What I like most about it is that it seems to meter its power better than the other ones I have. It wasn't able to jump without the battery. However, the Gulu runs itself down a lot quicker and it turns off. So like you got to keep turning it back on, and this just stays on the whole time, running juice to the battery without killing itself. So anyway, big thumbs up for the AMPROAD. And yeah, again, I'll drop that link down below. Appreciate you watching if you did. I know this was a super exciting video. So yeah, more to come on that Jeep. Yeah, I put up a little clip the other day of the water pump that came out of that. It's unbelievable looking. So it's like a geode or something, right? But all right, well, thanks for watching, guys. See you again. Oh, and if I happen to miss anything in this or need to add anything, I always do that in the description down below. So make sure to check out for that if you feel like something was missing. Or the comments, but I'll let you know how it holds up in the future. And like usual, at the end of all my videos, I like to show you the inside of the user manual, each page. So if you want to pause that and be able to read it, to take a look, should hopefully give you enough time. Try to get you a nice shot each of these pages. There you go. Real exciting stuff, right? Okay. Lots of useful information put together very well. These are all your specs, which I showed you earlier. That's it, and there's their contact. It's nice they actually have contact on there. Sometimes you don't see that.